Hey guys, welcome back to Super Lorcana World, your one-stop shop for everything Lorcana. Something I do in my Digimon community is when I update a deck for a format or whatever, if I've thought of a better way to do things, competitively speaking, I will let my community know this. Usually it's done through Twitch chat, not so much through YouTube videos, but considering I don't really stream Lorcana all that often, I figured I'd want to give you guys an update through video. So this is another Stitch deck profile. However, I think this deck is miles ahead of the Stitch deck with the steel cards. While the steel cards give you access to removal, and that's really nice, this deck is just gas. This deck just goes. It has better matchups against things like Whole New World Mill, Control, and other things that the steel deck might be lacking in. If you like a more defensive approach to your Stitch decks, the Steel Way is definitely the way to go, and I'm not going to try to deny that for you. But if you want a deck that is just straight gas, straight fire, straight turbo, Amethyst Stitch is the way to go, and today I'm going to show you guys what that is all about. If you guys like this deck profile, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. We're a new channel trying to grow, and that's it. Finally, if you guys want this awesome luxury mat, here I'll zoom out so you guys can see it again. All you gotta do is just, buy it. There's a link in the description if you want it and a promo code. You guys should definitely consider doing that. So yeah, like always, like any Stitch deck, we're gonna start with the stitches. These 4 stitches, the really good one. The stitches that have the Adoring Fan's ability that when you play a 2-cost or less character, you can suspend and draw a card. It also has the shift, so you can play it for 4 instead of 6. And that's pretty cool too. Don't forget that we do also play 4 copies of regular Stitch so that we can shift on top of it really easily. That's just something we can do in this deck. And you're going to play lots of 1-2 drops anyway, so Stitch fits right in. And I'm still on 4 copies of Lantern, so we can do the turn 3 Stitch combo. Those of you that do not know what it is or need a refresher, Lantern, you pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn. So it's a mana rock for characters. What you do is you play Stitch turn 1, you play a Lantern turn 2, turn 3 you play your 3rd ink, and then 3 ink plus Lantern gives you big Stitch. You can just do that. So that's the combo. So we play 4 Lantern because of it. And then even later in the game, it is basically a mana rock for your characters anyway. So that's fine. It's a good card to have in my opinion. There are some people that don't play it, and I don't understand why. So anyway, 4 copies of that is fine. Now we're still on 4 copies of Hey Hey. Hey Hey the Bolt Snack with support 1 when it quests to give its power to something. And 1-2 for 1 is fine. Goes well with Stitch. We of course play 4 copies of Lilo. Lilo is a 1 for 1 on the quest for 2. This crazy rare is a mandatory 4 in this deck in my opinion. It makes aggro decks with Stitch really expensive, but you need it. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, you can play this deck without it. No, you need it. You need it. If you don't open turn 1 Stitch, you know what I mean, and Lantern combo and all that, you're hoping that you open turn 1 Leela-like card with your turn 2 copies of Simba. Simba is a 2-cost, 2-3 that quests for 1 as Bodyguard. And you can play it exerted to trigger Bodyguard. That way you can freely quest with your Lilo, and then Simba is there saying you have to attack me instead of Lilo. And that's really powerful. Not to mention that with Stitch on the board, Big Stitch, if you play it, the Simba, you can exert the Simba using Stitch's effect to draw a card, and that triggers the Bodyguard. So again, really powerful combo there. We still play it. And as this is now a turbo deck, we're playing 4 copies of Yellow LeFou, or Amber LeFou rather. It's a 1-2 that quests for 2 that can be used as ink. The ability never comes up because we don't play any Gaston. We don't. But it's just a 1-2 that quests for 2, and that's pretty valuable. Moving on to the last 2 drop in the deck, it's 4 copies of Be Our Guest, the top 4 cards of your deck, and then you add a character to your hand. That's the only Amber song we play. We don't actually play Party World anymore. It's just a little bit too slow, honestly, and this deck is just gas. Be Our Guest is a very gassy card in the sense that it gets us our characters a little bit quicker. So we're maxing out 4 copies of it, and that's just fine. Now, the next 2 cards, or just, the next card that we play 2 copies of is kind of techie. I don't know how I feel about it yet. You don't have to do it. But I'm playing 2 copies of Ariel. Ariel helps you grab your songs from the top 4 card of your deck. The Singer 5 does not come up in this deck at all. It does not. But it can be used as ink, worst case scenario. And we do play, 8 songs in this deck total. Maybe it gets you one of your songs. I'm unsure how I feel about it. If you don't want to play Ariel, you can probably just omit Ariel and play something else. Like something I'm doing, and I'm only playing 2 copies of Rapunzel. Again, Rapunzel in this super aggro turbo version of Stitch is kind of unnecessary because most of your guys are weak. You're not going to get a whole lot of value off of Rapunzel. So I'm only playing 2 copies of it. But I think that you can play 4 copies of it and still correct because Rapunzel is that crazy. Heal up to 3 damage on a character, draw up to 3 cards. The only cards that really get value from that are Stitch and the purple card, which we'll talk about when we get there. So that's honestly just fine. So, 2 Rapunzel is okay. I haven't really wanted to play multiple copies of Rapunzel in the deck. Usually you win before you even need like 2 Rapunzels. So in this deck I think it's really a big deal, but Rapunzel has definitely saved my butt before. It's a really good card. And that's it for the Amber cards. The rest of the cards in this deck, the rest of the 24 cards these are all Amethyst cards. So let's talk about them. We're starting with 4 copies of Maleficent. Maleficent is another Lilo, a 1-drop, 1/1 that quests for 2. It's an aggro deck. We're playing aggro, and you love to see it. And then we're having 4 copies of Pascal. Pascal here is a very interesting card. It's a 1-drop, or 1/1 that quests for 1. You can ink it if you want. And it has a vase of what you control another character. So if you control double Pascal, they can't actually run over Pascals by battle. They have to use removal on them. Now that's not a hard thing to do, you know what I mean? If you're playing Steel, you just grab your sword and call it a day, or Tinkerbell, call it a day. But like if you're not playing in Steel, Pascal potentially is really good if you have 2 copies on the board, because that's very, very hard to interact with. They might have to waste big removal on it, like Dragonfire or Be Prepared, which they might just do anyway. So yeah, Pascal actually super valuable in the deck. Love to see it. We're going to skip ahead the curve for a second just to talk about something else here. We are playing 4 copies of Magic Broom and 4 copies of Mickey Mouse. So talk about Magic Broom first. Magic Broom, when you play it, you can shuffle a card from the discard pile, any discard pile, into any deck. This is good against Whole New World because it puts your cards back in deck, which is really, really cool. It's also good against certain decks that need pieces in the graveyard for them to grab back later. Magic Room just says, nope, back to deck you go. And that's pretty fine too. And then what really makes it shine is the 4 copies of Mickey Mouse. So Mickey Mouse here makes it so your brooms cost 1 less to play, and when your brooms die by challenge, they go back to your hand. So you can use your brooms to ram into things, and then they go back to hand, and you play them again, shuffle another important card back in the deck, and this is pretty good. And Mickey Mouse is a big boy. He's a 3/4 that quests for 2. That's not bad in terms of stats on the card. And it can be used as ink if you don't want Mickey Mouse. So that's pretty good. Yeah, it helps you play your brooms for 1, which helps you with Stitch, helps you with recursion, helps you with all sorts of stuff. The broom package really shines, and it's one of the reasons why I want to try this deck in the first place. I'm happy to report that the 4/4, the broom package with the Mickey Mouse, actually works. Alright, then we have 4 copies of Pot of Greed, lets you draw 2 cards from your deck. And then we have 4 copies of Maleficent. On play, draw 1 card. And that is actually it for the deck profile. We have a little bit of time here. This one, we flew through this kind of quickly. So I think we might actually just do a couple test hands here, or a test hand. See what we get, you know what I mean? Shuffle this really, really, really well because, it's sorted. So we're going to shuffle this really well. Chat, what do you think? Chat, I'm talking like I'm Twitch chat right now. YouTube, what do you think of the deck? I think the deck has a lot of potential. I think it's really good. And let's see some test hands and see just how good it is. So we're going to draw Lilo, Pascal, Stitch, Maleficent, Lantern, Friends on the other side. Not actually a terrible hand, honestly. What I'd like to do with this hand, honestly, is mulligan these 3 cards. I'm going to keep Lilo just in case we don't draw freaking Stitch. If we draw a Stitch, though, it's pretty good. 5, 6, 7. Nah, we don't. We don't draw the Stitch, but we draw a turn 1 Lilo and a turn 2 Simba. That's a very powerful combo, right? So we're going to probably just ink the Stitch right now, play Lilo, and call it a turn. And then turn 2, we're going to draw. We're going to ink a magic broom. This for a Stitch to Bodyguard, for Lilo to Quest 2. And then that's a pass turn. And then we go like this, and we go like this, and we draw. And then we do another Pascal, because we don't really need Pascal anymore. Do the questing, and then we do the Pot of Greed to draw 2 cards. And just like that, the deck is kind of, you know, it's working, right? Turn 4, you can just freaking pop off. You can play Lanterns so that your turn 5 is like really huge. That draws us a card. So like the deck kind of works. It's really, really cool. Let's do one more. Let's do one more quick one here. Let's do a quick one, chat. Oh my gosh, I really do like streaming on Twitch. By the way, do you guys know I stream on Twitch? We do Monday night tournaments in my Discord for luxury gaming, and those are streamed on Twitch. So you're welcome to join, and that's really fun. And then some other nights I'll be playing Lorcana and blah 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 blah. You know, whatever. Okay, cool. So we draw Stitch, Rapunzel, Simba, Maleficent, Magic Broom, Mickey Mouse, Stitch. We don't need a lot of these cards, to be honest. I'm going to put away these ones. Because if we draw a turn 3 Stitch combo, that's ideal, but worst case scenario of turn 1 Maleficent into turn 2 Simba. And we are not... We almost drew Stitch combo. We were very close to drawing a Stitch combo there. Just on the off chance that we actually draw the Lantern, I think it's just correct to play turn 1 Stitch instead of turn 1 Maleficent. And we see what happens. If we draw a Lantern, we're super rewarded. If not, it feels kind of bad. Nah, we didn't draw it. Oh well. No big deal though. I think we ink the Be Our Guest. I think we quest for 1. I think we play Simba and call it a turn. And then we have a turn 3. Pascal is really interesting. We might draw both. So I think for now we're going to ink this. And then we're just going to quest these again and then play Maleficent to draw a card. Cool. And then turn 4, let's see, we draw Friends. We will ink the Pot of Greed. We will shift the Stitch. We will quest some cards. And then we will just pass turn. And then turn 5, we can get the pop off. Turn 5, what do we got? We got LeFou. We probably... Before we do anything else, I like to draw my cards. So we'd probably quest the Pot of Greed to draw 2 cards. Just like that. We've drawn a Mickey Mouse now, which is really good. Before, we have 4 ink right now. I don't know, it's kind of off screen, but we have 4 ink right now. Before I decide what I want to ink, I think we should play some cards that will allow us to actually draw cards, see what happens. So we start with Lilo, which costs 1. We draw a card with Stitch. Okay, we have Mickey Mouse Broom combo. We just have that right now. So that's really, really cool. I'm not going to go too crazy than anything else. I'm going to play this Maleficent, and I'm going to draw a card. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, honestly. I value the Simba more than the LeFou. So we'll play the Simba, exert it with Stitch to draw a card. And then that's Maleficent, which isn't too bad here. But the other card we inked now isn't going to be used this turn. So I think we just ink the Maleficent. That might be a mistake. I think Maleficent, whatever. And maybe we can sing with this Pot of Greed, actually. We can do that. If we don't fear our board, it might just be better to not quest for 3 right now and just draw 2 cards. And then we get a 1-drop to draw with this. So that's pretty powerful. Yeah, and that's turn 5. This is our turn 5 right now. Look how many cards we've drawn. And turn 5 is not going to be able to be prepared us unless the matchup is specifically blue-red. They might have to Dragonfire the Stitch or something. And if they do that, that's great. Plus this too. So yeah, that's the purple Amethyst Stitch deck. Really good deck. Really turbo deck. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.